Welcome to That's Why We're Friends.
The podcast where we laugh a lot, talk about real life, and hold on to faith through it all.
We're two friends navigating the oldish season of life and celebrating the kind of friendships that make it all a little easier.
So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, hopeful, or just need a laugh, this podcast is for you.
Pull up a chair and join the conversation.
Hey Sarah.
Hey Kara.
How's it going?
It's going very well. Had a little bit of downtime, ramping up for a little bit of busier time coming, but overall, I can't complain. My fingers healed nicely.
That's
and
good.
no other injuries to report, and so
Yeah.
How about you? How's it
Yeah.
going?
Well, I had an oldish moment today, this morning.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was getting dressed and, putting on makeup, and my mascara and my eyebrow gel. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that kind of just keeps them from going crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Because I can get the mad scientist wiry.
Well, and mine, it's like they're different. I don't know,
Yes.
my face is different, the hair, but it's like this one over here halfway just wants to always go down, and it's really weird. And so, yes, I have the gel just so I don't look always like I just got out of bed or something. The right one can just be real funky.
Yeah. Well, it's weird lately. My right one, I feel like it's got a bald spot in the middle. And I'm like, I think I may be at the point of needing one of those eyebrow pencils. I don't know if you got your eyebrows waxed way back in the day, but...
I mean, I have had it done before.
Yeah.
I was never very consistent with it.
Okay. I used to have very, very thick eyebrows, which are totally in fashion now.
Yes, I know. Same.
But way back in the day, I got them waxed, and I got them waxed very consistently. And so now they're just skinny little eyebrows, and that's how they are. And that's okay. But I was getting dressed, and my mascara and my eyebrow gel are from the same company. So the tubes look very similar. And so I grabbed my mascara thinking it was my eyebrow gel.
You had some really dark eyebrows for a second.
I mean, they were I was like, whoa, what is happening? I thought I was going to have to wash my whole face and start over, but I was able to rescue, I think.
Awesome.
I mean,
I didn't notice anything. It's not anything that drew my attention when I first saw you this
my
morning.
right eyebrow, you didn't think it was just
no,
in your face?
Just a little more ready.
I'm
to
feeling
go.
really self-conscious about my eyebrows now.
No, you shouldn't. I've definitely had an eyebrow journey because I too had really pretty thick eyebrows, and then freshman year of college, a girl I got to know, and this is late 90s, where the pencil thin eyebrows were a thing for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know why we thought they looked good. But she plucked
I think that was probably somebody in the waxing industry decided, hey, here's a way to make money. Tell everyone to wax all their eyebrows off.
She plucked all my eyebrows in her dorm.
Oh,
our freshman
that would
year.
be so painful.
I don't recall the pain. What I recall is what I put together later was she had beautiful makeup. She was beautiful, but she also and so she did her eyebrows with makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't do that. Have never really done that, and definitely didn't do that then.
Yeah.
And so I think she thought she was plucking them, but also then giving me a foundation or something to then do what she did, which was, draw on whatever and make them beautiful. Well, no, I never did that. So I had a season of those I look back at the pictures and I'm just like, what were we thinking?
I know.
They're so
thin.
skinny.
I'm glad yours grew in a little bit. Mine really just don't grow anymore.
Yes, they did grow back in.
Yeah. I am now microblading is a thing. Do you know what microblading is? People get that done on their eyebrows. It's almost like this, from my understanding.
Is it permanent?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It's permanent in the fact that it's sort of like a tattoo.
Oh gosh.
But it's not permanent because it does wear off after, I think, maybe 6-8 months, a year. I know.
Does it feel like a tattoo?
Well, that's what I've heard.
Thank you. I'm not having a tattoo on my face.
That it feels like that. And, it's a blade. I mean, they're cutting you. And so, when you get it done, just like a tattoo.
Wait. They're cutting you.
Yeah. like a needle, how a tattoo, like, it cuts your skin.
Right, okay.
It's something like that. I don't know all the details. I just know that the people I've talked to that have had it done say it hurts. And for the first couple weeks, it's very pronounced, just like a tattoo, how it's like all red and like, yeah. So I don't think I could do that, only because I'm not good at maintenance. Like, I can't do too many things that I need to go sit somewhere and have it done and spend the time just to sit there. I don't know. I'm not good at it.
I just hate how willing we are as women to suffer in pain, because we're talking about waxing and stuff, which is extremely painful, like hair removal. Well, now you're talking about putting the hair back in another, like maybe even more
not
painful
even
way.
Real
like,
hair, a tattooed hair.
What are we doing? Like, painful to get rid of the hair. Give me back the hair. More pain. Like, rah, rah. Like, when is it gonna be?
Well, I'll just remind you of someone several months ago who wore beautiful new shoes to an event in Dallas and walked around and got massive blisters on her feet in the sake of beauty.
But did she look really cute?
She did look really cute. Yeah. So, that when my daughter was growing up, there were things, and I think even to this day, she doesn't like things that are uncomfortable. And I'll just say to her, sometimes being a woman hurts. Like, you just have to wear itchy clothes. You have to wear.
And I still love those shoes. I just think if it had just been me and you, I maybe would have said, like, let's Uber, or like take a cab,
we wouldn't have
versus
walked.
all the walking that we did with our
husbands. Brings up a whole nother situation, is that men are always like, oh, it's just a block. Yeah. When it's like 4 miles. Yeah. You're like, that was not 1 block away. That was 4 miles. When we're in New York or something, my husband's always like, oh, it's walkable. And I'm like, walkable in whose world?
Yeah, I would never take those shoes to New York. But I still, they're just, you have shoes that are like, okay, these are a short duration shoe and a short distance shoe. And so those shoes are short duration, short distance shoe. Yeah. But I do still love them. And
they're beautiful.
That was a long duration, long distance night. So
that was hard. Awful. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I really did.
I think when we hit the door of the hotel, you were like, shoes off.
I did. I didn't even care walking through this nice hotel barefoot. They hurt so bad.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what doesn't hurt? Beholding Jesus.
No, not at all.
It does, though, sometimes take a little effort, just like being a woman, because we have to, kind of give up our own comfort, and we have to give up what we think we want in order to gain what we really want. And so we've had great conversations all month talking about beholding. We talked to Taylor last week, which was a great conversation. So if you haven't heard that, go back and listen to that. And this week we're going to talk about beholding Jesus and how we get to become more like him.
Yes. And I think, again, I don't know that we had the full revelation of talking all about spiritual practices in March and then talking about beholding in April, but I just continue to kind of sit and just love the way that those two work together, because for me, I feel like one of my takeaways is, okay, all of these practices, all of these spiritual disciplines are ways that I can be intentional about beholding Jesus. Yeah. And so now at this point, and we've mentioned this several times, like the point of all of this, it's never about checking a box. It's not about trying to be a good Christian. This is what good Christians do. Yeah. The whole point of all of this is that when we do it, when we behold Jesus, when we make this a part of our life, this is how we become more like him. And so the whole principle is what you behold, you will become. Yeah. And so so many times as Christ followers, we get caught up in the striving and the effort and trying to just modify our behavior, because that feels just like the closest thing I can grab a hold of, and it's tangible and I can just change my behavior. But that it doesn't last and it doesn't work. And that's not what he's inviting us to. He's not even inviting us to act like Jesus. The invitation is to become like Jesus. Yeah. And there is no way that I can make myself become more like Jesus on my own. If I could do that, then the whole thing is we didn't need Jesus to begin with. Right. I can't. And so that's what is so kind of upside down thinking this whole thing, because it's just anti-effort, work, striving. I mean, like you said, it does take effort in the sense that I have to choose this. I'm saying no to this so I can say yes to this time with Jesus. So in that way, yes, there is an effort, there is a work in that. But it's the making me become like him is that's where I'm not doing the work because I can't.
Yeah.
I just have to behold him,
Yeah.
and he will make. And
Right.
I think I think that's the place that we have to sit and be able to wrap our minds around that and say, I believe that, I agree with that, I want to walk that out, is the most important step, so that we have the heart posture to do all these things, so that we can become like him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, you pointed out, like, we actually do have a part to play in it.
Yes.
But our part is not the part of making ourselves be like him.
Right.
Just our part is just choosing him.
Yes.
And,
So well said.
we've talked about all these, like, all through March when we talked about spiritual disciplines, and then even, through April, we've talked about the fact that it is a long-term commitment. You have to go one direction for a long time to see the results in your life. This is not instantaneous. I mean, yes, we will feel a benefit quickly. I know we will, because Jesus is just so amazing that it's not like it's going to be 6 years before I notice something, right? But it is walking in one direction for a really long time and choosing him over the daily struggle, the daily hard, what's going on in our lives, and what our feelings, all the things that come at us in life. It's deciding, no matter what hits me, I'm still going to choose him, and I'm still going to choose to behold him, so that in every situation I can look like him.
Absolutely. It's choosing to match his level of faithfulness and commitment.
Yeah.
It's in the story of, of being a Christ follower, it's in the story of Scripture, God always has gone first. To seek us out, to pursue relationship with us, to give us an answer, to give us a way. He always has been the one. So it's not like we're, taking the first step or having to be the one to start it. He's already and always will have taken that first step. It's us just agreeing with him and choosing to choose him, like you said.
Yeah. No, I think that's so great. And so when we were talking to Taylor last week, we talked about all the different things we could behold that could make us look for our meaning, our identity in those things. We talked about things like social media, world events, things going on around us, influencers, all those things. And we know, I know from looking at those things in the past that those things are shakeable. Those foundations are weak and crumbly.
Yes.
And so what we want really is to build our foundation on beholding Jesus, so that our identity is strong no matter what we're facing.
Yes. And they're ever changing.
Yeah.
Even if they're not like crumbling, they are ever changing.
Yeah.
And so, what did we just talked about?
I know, eyebrows
in the night. So if we're looking to the world to tell me who I am or who I'm supposed to be or who I'm supposed to become, okay, well, buckle up, because you're never going to be at rest or at peace, because who you are is never going to be right, because that goal, that target is literally going to be changing year to year, if not more quickly than that.
Yeah.
And so if we're using that aesthetic of just my whole life, what my marriage needs to look like, what I need to look like, what my home needs to look like, what car I need to drive, how my kid, like, it's everything. And all of the influx of, mental health problems and the anxiety, we don't have to speculate anymore. We know the correlation to our smartphones, to social media, to just information in general. We know.
Right.
Like, we've had enough time now that the research is in. Like, it is feeding our anxiety. It is feeding that our thoughts are racing, that we can't sleep. And it's because it becomes so foundational, because I'm thinking and shaping my life around these things so much, and I never get to be at peace or at rest, because it's never going to stop. But God's word, like you said, it has never changed. It will never change. He is ever present. And what he said 2,000 years ago is the same thing that he is saying today. Yeah. And if that doesn't just bring you some peace, I don't know what will, because that idea that I don't have to look to anything else, and that he's not going to change the script on me in a year or 6 months, or the whole thing is going to change. He is who he has always been. And that matters more today than I think it ever has.
Yeah.
But again, to your point a second ago, I have to choose to make that my focus, my horizon. I can remember from driver's ed, we're talking about the 90s a lot today, of that they kind of would teach you about, looking ahead, like to the horizon, you will just kind of center yourself.
Right.
And so that's kind of, again, a great picture. If we can just, lift our heads, it's kind of, I feel like a theme on our podcast is talking about just, being able to at least lift our eyes to Jesus, then my life will center itself. Like,
Right.
because I am looking to him and moving towards him, it will make everything else fall into place. Doesn't mean it's going to make everything else great and perfect and,
Right.
Trauma-free. There's still going to be things I'm going to walk through, but when my eyes are on him, it changes me on the inside. So whatever's happening on the outside, I experience it different. I feel it different because I'm becoming more like him, because I'm beholding him.
Yeah. I think everything you said is just such a good elaboration for our verse for this week, which is 2 Corinthians 3:18. And it says, "And we all who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory are being transformed into his image with ever increasing glory, which comes from the Lord who is the Spirit."
And that just kind of underscores what we've said, even about the change isn't coming from trying harder, but from seeing him more clearly. Like, we are being transformed, not we are transforming ourselves.
Right.
We're being transformed into his image because we're contemplating. What does contemplate mean? When you think about something, look at something, you're contemplating it. That's a beholding.
Right. It is beholding.
So when we're beholding his glory, we're being transformed.
Yeah. Well, and just like we talked about earlier, it's gradual. I mean, this verse says it's an ever increasing glory. And so it is gradual. It doesn't come just because we choose to, like you said, change our external behavior. It comes because we choose, on the inside, our heart posture is to behold him in every situation.
Yeah, and don't you think that's kind of maybe where we get hung up, is because we do live in such an instant age.
Oh, yeah.
That we don't necessarily do well with things that are a process anymore. We're so oriented to want things to be automatic.
Oh, yeah.
And so feeling like something is a process, this is the one thing that has not been, tweaked over the years to be more expedient or more efficient. Like it's not going that the way that he says that it is always going to be the way.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a more expedited way
to
become more like Jesus. And this is, I haven't really thought about it. This is probably the only area of life that has not been revamped to have a more efficient or, process of doing something.
Yeah.
And so that's real.
Yeah. No, I know. I think too, like when you give your attention to something, which is what beholding is, it increases how you feel about that thing. We talked about that last week, is that the more you look at something, the more you are, Taylor's word, fascinated by it, which was an amazing word, but just you just become completely consumed by it. I think about how when I've found a new hobby or found a new, recipe, like I am the queen of cooking the same recipe over and over. When I like something, I'll cook it till it's dead, it's just like over and over. And my family will be like, why are we having this again? But, so it's like our love for it becomes bigger, right? And so, and then when our love becomes bigger, we get kind of turned into, like, you're known for the things you do. Like people know you by the things you're passionate about, the things you do. And so it like almost becomes, dare I say, your reputation among people who know you. And so, goodness, I want my reputation to be, wow, she loves the Lord. There's other things I enjoy doing, but I never want anything to be higher than him.
And I think hopefully there's some ease and some peace in all of this of of taking out a lot of the have tos and the shoulds and the, you know, how do I figure this out and how do I become more patient and more kind, of really simplifying it all to just make that space in your life. We talked about again last week with Taylor of where can you create some margin so that you have some space, whether it's in, you know, at different points throughout the day. Obviously, you know, we talk a lot about spending time with the Lord the first thing in the morning of starting your day and kind of setting that intention, reminders on the phone, or, you know, what can I remove? What can I cut back on? So that there is time that I can see nature, that I can have eyes open for whatever the burning bush in my life might be in this season.
Right.
I think maybe that is like, okay, if God wants to present a burning bush to me in this season of my life, am I looking for it?
Yeah, no, I think that's so good. And, you know, I really just think that when we're looking at him so much, it makes, I don't know if I want to say it makes everything else in life easier. It's not that things are easier, but it gives us the confidence to face what we're walking through.
Yes. I think you could say easier. It's not saying that they're easy, but are they easier than they would be without him? I think that's true.
Yeah, 100%.
I think you are. This is the easiest path.
Right.
Now, it is not the easy path.
Yeah.
But I do think it's the easiest path because there are answers and there's community and there's the ever-present help of the Lord. And so it's not that it's easy, but I have to believe it's easier than going through with just no answers, no point that I'm headed, you know, no inner purpose or just big picture of the purpose of all of it. If we know anything about walking with the Lord, he can give us purpose in the pain. And I struggle to know without the Lord how people find that purpose in the pain.
Yeah, I don't know. I know over the last couple of years, there's been sort of a meta narrative over, like there's different verses that I'll meditate on, but there's been this one verse and it's in Psalm 23, but I think people miss it a lot because everybody's like, oh, the Lord is my shepherd, I'm not going to be in want. And then he leads me, you know, by still waters, and goodness and mercy follow me. But tucked in there's this verse that says, he leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. It's for his glory. And how is he going to get glory in from our circumstances, our lives, our testimony, if we want to use that type of terminology? How's he going to get that glory if we aren't willing to behold him and allow him to lead us in those paths of righteousness?
But again, there's so much in that you said that is counterintuitive again to us and our flesh and the world right now, because we're talking about, you know, for his sake, for his good, for his name's sake. It's he's first. He's the authority. And so that again is just, that may be a contention point of deciding it's not going to be all about me. Like I am not true north in my life. He is. And that's always the wrestle of self versus God. And I would just reiterate, that's why beholding is such a gift to us, because I'm setting aside myself and I'm choosing not to look at myself, my life, my issues, my concerns. Can I acknowledge that really none of that matters? For eternity, none of that's actually going to matter. What is going to matter is this moment here of beholding Jesus, getting to know him, his character, who God is. That is eternal. And that is easy to say. And that is hard to put into practice.
Absolutely.
But that is the invitation for all of us. Is can we more and more acknowledge, yes, this is life, these are all the things, but can I find some time to where I can set that all aside? God, I know you've got all of this. You know all of it. You're not saying you don't want me to pray and ask you those things. But can we also have some time in our relationship with the Lord and in our life to say, you know what? I'm going to set all of that aside. I just want this time to be focused on you. And I want to think about you. I want to be fascinated by you. I want to see your heart and your character. and to just allow that into our lives to shape us and mold us and become more like him.
Yeah.
And I think another practice or another question that we can go through is, where have I or am I becoming like something else I am beholding, whether that's a TV show or a podcast I'm listening to, or where have I maybe noticed that, you know, the way that I talk or things that I say, like, I think you'll start to see the reality of this kind of principle of becoming what you behold, and taking some of that time back to put it on the thing that we really do want. Because again, like Taylor emphasized last week, peace is one of the benefits that we're talking about. That we're going to have more peace. And so my mind is going to be more at rest. I'm going to be more present in my life. I'm probably going to sleep better. I'm probably going to feel better. So it's not to say that there are no benefits in this. Like, there are real, tangible, and we've talked about it. It's a long-term thing, but there are also short-term gains. And so it's not either or. Like, yes, it's going to be a process. We're going to have to go in the same direction for a long time, but he's also going to meet us where we are. And so there are going to be benefits to that. So
I think too, just like any relationship, when you stick with a relationship for a long time, the benefit is also the memory of the goodness in the relationship, right? It's like the good times we've had, the times, you know, you helped me, the times, like, I think about even silly things like in our relationship. I remember you helping me unpack a house and like putting things, like, that's just fun, right? And so it's the same with God. It's like he's inviting us, like, come, let me be a part of this. Behold me. Let me be a part of your life, because I will give you great times with me, and I will give you the memory of remembering. And so not only is it just the goodness of him in our lives, of like, oh, we get to have that intimate time with him, but it also carries us through the next thing, right? Be it a celebration or a sorrow, it carries us through because we know our history with him. And it's just like in any relationship, when you're moving forward, when you hit something, again, celebration or sorrow, you hit that spot, you're like, oh, we've done this before. And I don't have to worry about where this is going. I know that I'm secure in this relationship. I know I'm secure in the Lord because I'm beholding him. I know that he is faithful to me. And it's just such a good reminder that he wants an intimate relationship with us. And you mentioned earlier, like, what we should, like, I'm going to should myself to do this. I mean, that is guilt. That is not from the Lord. The Lord never says you should. He's like, would you come and do this? It's just an invitation. He's not going to force us. And so, you know, I think we all say we want to look more like Christ, but it's at the end of the day, taking kind of an evaluation of your heart and saying, do I really want that? Am I willing to give up beholding whatever else in my life is taking my attention off of him?
And that reminder that it is a relationship. And are there any other relationships that we would treat people sometimes the way that we treat God, or the way that we interact with him? That if you're in a relationship with someone else and you don't want to spend time getting to know something about them, that they might not be in your life for very long, because it's going to be very one-sided. And so I just think that's a great reminder of God is relational. In his nature, he is relational, and he has chosen to interact with us relationally. It's not business. It's not a transaction. He chose a familial, relational way to connect with us. And so that's an important thing.
I love that. That's so good.
Well, all month we have at different points talked about the Gospels, and just having an invitation with the free download that's online for people to take a little bit of time. We've had a little bit shorter episodes this month, hoping that you can kind of use that time for these practices of beholding. And so just kind of reminding everyone about that, of, you know, the Gospels are full of incredible stories where you get to see the character and the nature of Jesus. You get to see the way that he loved people, the way that he interacted with people. And it's a great invitation to to decide to just slow down.
Yeah.
That I'm not reading for information. I'm not reading for an answer to something, like for me that I need an answer about this thing. I'm just looking to see Jesus and to ask those questions, but just simply like, what do I notice? What am I seeing about his character, and what does it reveal about his heart?
Yeah.
And I think we can ask that question of like, okay, then what does that reveal about how he loves me? If this is how he loves and he loves me, then this is how he loves me.
Yeah.
Of being able to receive that. And so one of the ideas even could be long term. This is beyond kind of the download thing, but of reading with the intention of looking for like a certain characteristic, like, oh, I want to see his kindness.
Yep.
And what's cool about that is then could you then take that into your day to say, okay, Jesus, now I want to see your kindness like today, like whether it's in my life or maybe I see through two other people, I see an interaction and I see your kindness. That's another great way to incorporate that beholding, because it's kind of like the Where's Waldo. Like, I want to look for your generosity today.
Yeah.
Like, how can I see you as a provider and as generous in my life today? So looking for those character pieces in scripture, but then go and look in your own life.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And I think, it's just such a good reminder that it's something that we are invited to do on a constant basis. Yes. This isn't a one-time event. This isn't a once a month or, I'm going to do this on certain holidays or certain times. It's just a slow spiritual transformation that will happen in our lives as we choose to daily behold him, his character, his nature, and who he is.
Yes, and it's for the rest of our lives. And it's something that we will probably at times feel like we have built in and, I don't want to say done a good job, but been consistent.
Right.
And then, something will happen and we might feel like we kind of get out of that. But that's fine. Like we can come back to it. Right. And that's what's so great about, again, as we learn about his character, that his grace and his mercy, he's always waiting for us to come back.
Yep.
And so that's always the invitation. It never expires. We never run out of punches on the punch card. Like, we just return and come back and behold him every time.
Yeah, no, that's so good. Well, just as a reminder to everyone, we have a free download on the website for you this month. So go grab that under the freebies tab. And every week we talk about how we're going to enjoy the life God's given us. So what are you going to do this week, Sarah?
Oh, goodness. So we are going, we've been doing all our Michigan stuff, and so we are heading to Michigan again this weekend. It is graduation, and it's actually, I know, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're about to cry.
I know. So it's our, basically our last trip to Ann Arbor. So Riley is graduating. We did this last year. She graduated with her undergrad, but she's done a 1-year master's program, and so.
Do you think last year, because you knew she was staying, it was like not as hard?
No, it wasn't.
And now you're like, oh.
Now it's like, oh my gosh, this is our this is it. And so.
So Remy to graduate though.
Yes, we do. And so I'll save some tears for her. It looks like she's going to be coming back to the Dallas area. Yeah. And so then, like, why am I even crying? But, it's just the end of a thing. And so it's going to be really sweet. There's, banquet and all this kinds of stuff, because with the water polo team, there's a lot of she has like 3 different graduations, because one with her school, one for the athletes, and then like the big one at the big house on Saturday. So
big house?
The football stadium.
Oh, is it called the big house? Oh. That's a very interesting name.
Yes, it's called the Big House.
Isn't that what people call prison? The Big House?
I'm not as familiar with pop culture terms for prison these days.
I could be totally
wrong.
I misunderstand a lot of words, so maybe that's not right.
No, I don't have any input or ways to help you or make fun of you, because I really just don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, because if you did, you like making fun of me. That's fine.
No, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
But look, I got your mind off of crying.
I know you did. That was good. I think also it dawned on me of like that she's most likely coming back here to the Metroplex. But it's just, it's 4 years we've been doing this. I mean, the water polo stuff, obviously that has come to an end, and so it's a sweet season, it's a sweet time, and we're excited to go and celebrate her. And So when we may go back, I'm sure at some point for a football game. And Paul's from Michigan.
Sure.
We're Michigan fans regardless, even before Riley was there. So I'm sure there's a better than zero chance that we'll go back for a football game someday. But
that's awesome.
Yes.
Well, that's exciting.
What about you?
We have just a little event at our house this weekend, so I'm going to be getting ready for that, preparing for that. And
who's going to eat raw cookie dough out of your fridge? The answer might be nobody.
It's going to be a little bit more of a formal type event.
More refined people?
Yeah, more refined people who don't eat cookie dough out of people's fridges. Although some people at the event will be people I know, so maybe if they want cookie dough, I'll just keep some in there.
Okay.
Or I won't.
No.
Because you're looking at me like, how dare you let anyone else?
Yes, me and Lindsay. Nobody else.
Okay. Nobody else is eating cookie dough out of my fridge. Ever.
Great. I mean, you probably don't have to declare that. I don't think people are lining up to go eat raw cookie dough out of people's houses.
Interesting. I have had quite a few people eat raw cookie dough out of my fridge.
Okay. Well, maybe it's just a vibe that you put off, eat my raw cookie dough. Yeah.
Yeah, eat my raw cookie dough. Okay, on that note, we're going to encourage everyone to go enjoy the life God's given them this week. And we will see you guys in May.
Okay.
Bye. Good, that was Thanks so much for spending time with us today on That's Why We're Friends.
We hope you laughed, felt encouraged, and are walking away with a little more hope for your day.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow the podcast so you never miss what's next.
And share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement, because that's why we're friends.
Some products or services we mention may be paid promotions. Any advice shared should be confirmed with a qualified professional. Our conversations and opinions are meant for encouragement and entertainment only.